It's done. Skaventide came out on the 13th of this month. I've finished painting it all, and I've played a few games of it now, both Spearhead and 4th edition. What do I think? Let's talk. Hello everybody, I'm Wayne. As I said, I've now finished painting Skaventide entirely. The full box is done, both factions, the terrain's done, and really happy with it. Before we get into what I think of the game, let's have a quick look at how I've painted the models. Now, before we get any further, do me a solid, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you like that style of painting, if you liked what you saw, definitely make sure you do give me a sub. Let me know down in the comments if you liked it. I'll be doing some tutorials like that on getting your armies ready for the tabletop pretty fast. I've got some interesting projects coming up. Hopefully, I'll get those on the board as well, and we'll do some pseudo battle reports, depending on how the time pans out, and we'll see how those work. But yeah, do give us a subscribe if you like that kind of content. So what do you think of my Skaventide, my Stormcast? I have to admit, I've enjoyed painting the Skaven more than I enjoyed the Stormcast. However, it turns out I quite liked playing as the Stormcast, and I'm going to end up with a small army of them. How have you painted yours? Let's have a look. Send me a link down in the comment. Follow me on Instagram, and we'll have a look. And I'd love to see what you've done with your Stormcast and Skaven. What do I think of this? So this is the Spearhead Fire and Jade book. I played more Spearhead than I've played 4th edition. And I have to admit, I think Spearhead may be my favourite skirmish game at the moment now. I'm not saying it's one-to-one with Kill Team, Warcry, etc. But I really enjoyed it. It's way more strategic than I thought. There's a learning curve, and I'm not great with rules. I really do struggle with it. So putting those reps in has really paid off. I had a fair few games with a couple of people, and I know that a couple of my gaming group I've had a few more games, and the general consensus is it is really quite fun. Balanced, perhaps not, which is what Games Workshop are selling it on. There are clearly some factions that are stronger than others, but overall, I think it is a really good introduction to getting the core rule sets, the core tenets that are used in full fat Age of Sigmar 4th edition, down pat without having all of the added layers of complexity of list building. Again, something that I personally struggle with. And all of the advanced supplementary mechanics that you've got. You can just pick up a Spearhead box, get it painted up, get on the table, and start enjoying the game really fast. And the rule set is fairly small. I think if you're you're already familiar with those sorts of war games, perhaps you will be able to just pick it up, hit the ground running, and you'll be rolling dice, having fun in no time at all. For myself, someone that's more in the painting and the modeling side of the hobby, but's trying to move more into the social gaming aspect, the non-competitive side of it, I think it's a really good onboarding tool, as well as being really enjoyable and honestly more strategic than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be kind of two armies clashing and then rolling dice for who was dead first, taking out some of that nuance of kill team and war cry, which I really enjoyed. Very simple rule sets, but very deep and strategic. That is not the case. The secondary objectives being drawn every round, the twist for the battle every round really does mix up the playstyles, and that I found really compelling. So let's have a quick chat about full fat Age of Sigmar 4th edition then. This is my first full game of it. I've had one full game, so I can only give my thoughts on that game as somebody that is very, very casual. And when I am playing casual anyway, I play very fluffy. I play thematically to my army, so I can't go into the deep tournament tactics. If that's what you're looking for, way better channels to be watching than this one. But for a fun, easier to deal with gaming system compared to my experience with 3rd edition, it is really, really good. I love how the rules are laid out. There's still a bit of backwards and forwards, but not too much. We didn't play with the endless spells. That's the only thing that we didn't use. We use all of the advanced rules, and we got through a game. It took us about 7 hours, which is a significant time investment, but it was a really fun 7 hours. Compared to my experience with 3rd edition, granted, I was coming in pretty cold to it, and I was coming further down the line with an army that had layers of mechanics on top that I didn't understand. Starting off with this box set, with the Skaventide box set, we had a 1,000-point game, and I found it really straightforward to follow. There were a couple of bits and pieces that I just had to really talk about long form, and I think that's going to be a case with a lot of folk that are kind of getting into the game for the first time, that don't understand how those systems work. Luckily, the people I've been playing with have been really knowledgeable and really patient with me. So I've got a huge amount out of this weekend, and I really did enjoy it. I'm so glad I've got the Skaventide box set painted up now, ready to go. And I'm going to be playing a lot more, certainly of Spearhead, over the coming weeks. I've already got a couple more games planned with a few folk. And I'm really looking forward to having more experience of full fat 4th edition with a couple of the different armies I've got. Once I've kind of moved past that 1,000-point barrier, I'm looking forward to having a larger game with a more thematic army that I've got. So either my Maggotkin or my Soulblight Gravelords, that's going to give me the space to finish working on my, what hopefully will be my main 4th edition army of Slaves to Darkness. So that's where I am with it at the moment. Have you played it? What do you think? All the things that I've seen online are coming at it from a competitive slant, which is not what I'm interested in at all. I would love to have a chat with you guys if you're playing more narrative lists, fluffy lists. You're not taking all of the weird meta stuff that people are already complaining about with the endless spells. Again, it's the Purple Sun, isn't the Grave Tide causing issues. I believe there's already been some community rule updates in tournaments that are not letting you tie things up with endless spells and stuff. What do you think? What do Games Workshop need to do to kind of further refine this after we get out this public beta first month of having 4th edition in our hands? Let's have a chat down in the comments. Tell me what you think, and let's go from there. What do you think of my armies? What can I do? What should I add to the Stormcast? I'm so excited for this. So excited for 4th edition. It's great. That's it for this week. I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed having a look at my army and hearing about my experience of it, and have a great hobby week. Till then, guys, see ya.